up, guys? So I got my draft grades, kind of. I'm recording this intro after I record the video. Um, we got draft grades. I kind of gave grades for most of them. Some of them I forgot. I kind of went back and gave grades. So I'm just really just talking about every pick in the first round. I got multiple videos coming out later today. I have a second round best value picks. I think that will come out today, and I also have winners and losers. So yeah, stay tuned. A lot of content coming out today. The draft was fun. Enjoy the video. To my grades for the first round of the draft, I have multiple videos coming today. I have a second round value, draft value, like values I liked, and I also have the winners and losers. So these two will tie in the winners and losers in the grades here, but the winners and losers will be more of the whole draft. This is just the first round. So number one, Paolo Banchero going to the Magic. For months we've been hearing Jabari Smith's going to the Magic, Paolo Banchero's going to the Rockets, Chet Holmgren's going to the Thunder. Only one of those were true. And right before the draft, even at 2 a.m. of draft day, Paolo Banchero skyrocketed to the favorite, and everyone didn't know why. And then 30 minutes before the draft, Woj says that Banchero is likely going to be the number one pick. And then whenever the name's called, it's Paolo Banchero. I mean, I like the player. He's my second ranked player. I never got my draft, my big board out, which is frustrating because I also messed up on it, and I just didn't want to put out something that wasn't good. It's on the Instagram. I have 2 mess ups on it. Dalen Terry was supposed to be on it. I don't know why he wasn't. And also AJ Griffin, but we talked about that. But anyways, back to Banchero. I like Banchero. He's my second ranked player, and I think he's going to be a really good player for a really long time. Banchero, he improved his 3-ball. I think it's more of he needs to have a better willingness on defense. He didn't do much, but he was also doing a lot on offense last year for Duke. I think Banchero is a very good, and with the Magic, you need to hit on the number one pick. So you don't take the high upside Chet Holmgren, even though Banchero has high upside too. I mean, he's going to be just a good player for a while. You don't take the highest upside with Chet, or you don't take the big, maybe a little bit less of a risk, but still big risk Jabari. You go with the safe option, Banchero. I think he'll fit nicely with the Magic with Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony. I think it'll be a very good fit. I'm going to give this an A grade. Now, the Thunder at number 2 get the guy that we thought they were going to get this whole time. Chet Holmgren goes number 2, forms of slim towers, as people say. I like Chet. He was my number 1 player. I think his upside's there. I think he's going to be a really good player. But this was the obvious pick, so I'm not going to give an A+, because I'm going to give an A. Chet is a very good he's like guard in a forward center's body. He can play defense. He's a good ball handler. He can shoot the 3. He can create his own shot. The only problem with him is his frame. And I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he bulks up and builds into that frame, or maybe he doesn't. And maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. Number 3, the Rockets get Jabari Smith. I think Rockets fans are happy. I mean, I think most of them probably wanted Banchero, but they didn't know they'd have a chance at Jabari. So I don't know how to gauge that. I'd also give this an A. As I'm not as high on Jabari, but he's my 3rd-ranked player, and you got him at 3, so it's an A pick for me. He has a lot of potential. He's a good defender. He's good in the inside game. Defensive-wise, he could shoot the ball from any level. So I like Jabari here. Number 4, Keegan Murray to the Kings. I'm going to give it a B. I like the player. I don't like the draft slot. I don't like the fact that you probably could have traded out of here for someone that wants Jay Nivey and still probably got Keegan Murray. The Kings are odd because the Kings are in win now mode, but they're not a win now team. They're not a playoff team. They haven't been for years. And they're constantly in this win now mode, which makes no sense because I don't think they're a top 10 team. I don't know if they're even a playoff play-in team in the West. Because, I mean, think about all these teams. Are they better than the Warriors? No. Are they better than the Suns? No. Are they better than the Grizzlies? No. Are they better than the Clippers? No. They're better than the Mavericks? No. They're better than the Lakers? No. Are they better than the Nuggets? No. Are they bigger? Are they better than the Pelicans? No. Are they? I don't even know if they're better than the Spurs. Truthfully. Are they better than the Trailblazers? No. There's probably one team I'm forgetting there. Are they better than the Timberwolves? No. So this notion that they're win now makes no sense. And yes, they got some good players now. De'Aaron Fox is a stud. Domantas Sabonis is fine. He was an all-star. He's a good player. And Keegan Murray, I guess Sabonis is the 5 and Keegan's gonna be the 4. I don't know with the Kings right now. The Kings are the most dysfunctional organization maybe in sports. So that might hint towards my winners and losers of how I react to the Keegan. I like Keegan Murray. I feel like he's getting a lot of unnecessary hate because of how dysfunctional the Kings are. I hope he plays good. I hope he's a stud, but I don't know. We'll see. Number 5, Jaden Ivey. Number 5 to the Pistons, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. We get it. We get this backcourt that we so desperately wanted, and we got another piece that we'll talk about later because that was nuts. I love Jaden Ivey as a player. He was one of my favorite players. He reminds me of my favorite player in the league, John Morant. And I really like this player. I really like this fit. He can play next to Cade. This Pistons team has a bright future. Jaden Ivey crying might have been one of the moments of the draft, one of my favorite moments of the draft. So, yeah, I really like that pick. Everyone seemed to love it. Jaden Ivey's a stud. So yeah. Benedict Mathurin to the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin to the Pacers. Good fit, good player. I mean, I'm not as high on him, but I think he's a good player. 3-and-D type guy that has potential in D. He hasn't really shown it yet, in my opinion, but I think it's whatever. I'll give it. Oh, I didn't give the Ivy pick. I'll give it an A+. Sorry. I'd give the Mathurin pick a B, in my opinion. Number 7, Shaedon Sharpe to the Blazers to join Dame. Another win now team. They traded for Jeremy Grant, which that pick went to another trade, which we'll talk about later. I like Shaedon Sharpe. I think he's a good player. I think this is about where he should have gone. Considering the questions, I think it was a good fit. I think him and Dame can be a really good duo with Simons coming off the bench, and if Dame moves on, Shaedon Sharpe's young, and he's a good wing, good shoot. He's a good shooter. He's a raw prospect, but has a lot of upside. So I don't hate this for the Blazers. I'd give it a B+. Or no, I'd give it an A. I think Shaedon Sharpe deserves an A. Dyson Daniels, A+. I love the player. I love the fit. There's not much more to be said. I love that pick. Jeremy Showan to the Spurs was kind of a shock, but I like it. I mean, a good D player. A good player on D. Developmental on offense, but I think he's going to be a solid player. Started out the career. I think he's fit the mold of kind of like the type of player they drafted, not like the archetype, but like how they'll play in their rookie years, with Keldon Johnson being a really good shooter. What's his name? Devin Vassell being pretty good start out. So I think Sean will be a very good impact player. Johnny Davis, number 10. I put out a tweet that the Wizards got Bradley Beal and Bradley Beal Jr. Johnny Davis, I'm not saying necessarily he's Bradley Beal Jr., but he kind of reminds me of some Bradley Beal. He's a good offensive player, needs better efficiency. The Wisconsin team was terrible. So Davis, Shohan, I need to give a B plus, and Davis, I'm going to give an A. Number 11. All right, this is where it gets interesting. So Knicks traded out of this pick. Ousmane Dieng goes to the OKC Thunder. All right. The Knicks didn't get 12. They got 3 first-round picks, future first-round picks, including, I think, 30. No, they didn't get 30. Oh, no, they already I forgot the Thunder already traded 30. My bad. Yeah. Dieng to the Thunder is a perfect fit. They have time to develop him. Him and Chet both need development, so I think that makes sense. The Knicks, we'll talk about in a second, because this is not even remotely the questionable move I'm really want to talk about. So let's just get into this next OKC pick. Jalen Williams, a big riser. I think he's a good player. I think he's more of a safer player for the OKC who took 2 big risks earlier. And I think it makes sense. I'm glad he seems like a good kid. I'm glad he rose up draft boards. 13, Charlotte Hornets select Jalen Duren. Then trade him to the New York Knicks for something. Then the Knicks trade Jalen Duren and Kemba Walker to the Detroit Pistons. I don't necessarily know where to start. First off, Hornets got some draft capital back. They got that pick from the Jeremy Grant deal, and they got like 4 seconds. I don't necessarily know what. The only team that I think had a good direction and won this trade was the Pistons, because the 2 players that they won in this draft, Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, they got. If Jaden Ivey was off the board at 4, they were going to take Jalen Duren at 5, which I don't think it would have been a bad pick. So, this is interesting in my opinion. The Knicks are kind of overall all over the place. They're freeing up money to go overpay for Jalen Brunson, which isn't a very good sign. I'd love to know what y'all think in the comments. It's a very weird situation, in my opinion. They got Jalen Duren, though, and then they trade him to get off Kemba's contract. That's bad. And I get they don't want Kemba. They want to move off the money. I think he has an expiring deal. And the Pistons are expected to reach a buyout with Kemba. So, yeah. Duren to the Pistons, though. I love this. Cade, Ivy, Duren, Bay, Killian Hayes off the bench. I love it. Pistons, future NBA champions here soon. A couple years. Them and the Grizzlies are going to be the next Warriors and Cavs. But yeah. Hornets also confused me. They got some picks back, so it makes sense. But I guess they wanted Mark Williams, but since Duren was there, they leveraged him. Maybe that's how it works, and maybe I don't hate it as much. I thought Duren was the better player, though. So, yeah. Ochai Agbaji to the Cavs makes sense. It provides them help off the bench, or maybe in the starting lineup. Depends on what happens to Colin Sexton. I think it makes sense. Duren gets an A+, Williams gets a B+, Jane gets a B+. I keep on forgetting to do the grades. I'm kind of just talking about these guys, so I'll try to throw grades in there, but Agbaji gets a B. Mark Williams, I talked about the Hornets earlier. I'll give it a B. I like the player, though. AJ Griffin to the Hawks, I think fits a very good need. Very big need. Good 3-and-D shooter. He has potential, too. I got a Twitter notification, so I always have to check that, make sure nothing big happened. It was just a recruit thing. So yeah, Tari Eason. I love this to the Rockets. The Rockets will get a video soon. I want to get a couple videos out about the draft, and I want to talk about some teams. Rockets. I love Tari Eason. He's a really good, smart defender, and a team that desperately needs some more defense. Dalen Terry. I love this Chicago. Dalen Terry is one of my favorite players. I wanted Memphis to grab him. We'll talk about them in a second. I really like Dalen Terry. He's a good passer, good defender. He's developmental on offense, but I think he fits Chicago well. Give an A. All right, my Grizzlies. Jake LaRiva from Wake Forest. So he rose up draft boards whenever it came out. He was not 22. He was in fact 20. The more I hear Kleinman talk about this, he's done nothing to make me question him. But obviously, when I guess it's like you see players that you want and they don't take them, and then you not as high on the player. I like LaRiva. I didn't think he would have gone this early, but he fits Memphis, and Memphis really liked him. So I give it a B. I think the more I watch him, the more I see the vision of what this Memphis team needed. A good shooter, good on defense, good playmaker. So I like him. Branham, he's a good offensive player. Needs to work on defense. Makes sense for a bench player for the Spurs. I'll give it a B. Christian Brown. Apparently that's how you say it. The story of the night was not him, it was his mom. That red dress. Apparently she dated his best friend too. So I don't know. Good player. Nuggets fits the timeline. So yeah. Walker Kessler not as high on this. To the Timberwolves trading that Grizzlies trade. They got 22 and 29. They took Kessler and then they traded 29, I believe. That we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah. Not much to say. They traded up from 29 to 26, I believe. So yeah. Kessler, I'm not as high. I don't think he's athletic enough for that league, but we'll see. David Roddy. All right, so I was very low when this pick when it first happened, and then I read more, I watch more, and I was like, hey, I actually like this pick. Not in love with the pick, but I think it makes sense. He's a weird build. He's 6'5", 250, 260. But he's a really skillful player. They traded D'Anthony Melton, which, man, I'm gonna miss D'Anthony Melton because I love D'Anthony Melton, but it makes sense. He couldn't really ever get set in the rotation because he was so inconsistent. But D'Anthony Melton, I love him. I don't think there's any hard feelings between him and the Grizzlies. Also getting Danny Green in the trade, and I think they got something else. Maybe not. Dan Green, I don't expect to be on Memphis, but I feel like there's going to be a buyout there, and then he'll sign somewhere else. Let him recover from his injury. But yeah, Roddy, not in love with the player, not in love with the pick. I'm not in love with the pick. I'm fine with. I like the player. Give it a B. Margin Beauchamp. He was balling tears too. Nice moment. I think he can develop in Milwaukee. I think that's a great fit for him. I give it an A. Blake Wesley. I really like this player. Another guard for the Spurs to come off the bench. I think he's a good scorer. I think he's a good player. Give a because I had him at 17. Wendell Moore, I think this is to the Timberwolves because I think they traded back up from 29 26. Wendell Moore, I think he fits the Timberwolves very well. A little bit older of a player, but he's going to help them win now, and that's what they're trying to do. Nikola Jovic to the Heat. He can develop there in that Heat culture. I think it makes sense. I give it a B+. Patrick Baldwin, not as high on this pick. He was a top 10 recruit. Didn't play good for his dad at Milwaukee. Also dealt with injuries, so that might be why. I give it a C plus. Ty to the Rockets. I love it. I thought they should have taken him at 17, but they got Tar Eason and Ty. I really like this fit. I really like this pick. A plus. Peyton Watson. He's a developmental guy for the Nuggets. It's really just developmental. So yeah, those are my kind of first round grades. I didn't really give. I kept on kind of forgetting to do the grades, but I talked about the picks. Yeah, let me know how you think your team did in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you later. Got more videos coming today.